This is the fake Barbie girl who committed murder in the most disturbing way possible, and you won't believe why she did it. This is the true story of Abigail White, who was a 24-year-old girl who lived in Bristol, United Kingdom. Now, Abigail was notoriously known for being what she calls herself a self-dubbed Barbie girl. Bleach blonde hair, kind of big body parts, everything you need basically Barbie has. That's what she intended on being like. Now, not only was she a self-dubbed Barbie girl, she was actually a OnlyFans model. So she basically did OnlyFans for a living. And she had told people that she'd made over £50,000 a year. She was making a lot of money from basically selling photos of herself online, videos, doing adult work to all of her subscribers who are OnlyFans. So that's what she did for a living, and that kind of goes with her Barbie girl name. She kind of wanted to become a Barbie girl, cam girl, effectively. And that's what she did for work. Now, while she was doing all of this adult work, she had a boyfriend, and her boyfriend was called Bradley Lewis. This was the partner of Abigail White. They actually had 3 children together. Bradley Lewis has 4 children, but they have 3 children together, and they were in what seemed to be a long relationship. However, things came out that in fact this relationship wasn't actually healthy at all. In fact, it was very unhappy. It was revealed that Abigail would be actually physically abusing and attacking Bradley throughout the relationship, trying to scare him, trying to fearmonger him, potentially blackmailing. A lot of things came out, which she actually admitted later on in the story of doing to him. So she would basically try and scare him in multiple different ways, because she never believed him. He would always go out and she would never believe where he went, or he would never really tell her. So the only way she would basically get information out of him was to scare him and threaten him and do really vile acts of disturbingness to try and just basically get her own boyfriend to speak to her. I'm going to play you some voice notes right now, and viewer discretion is advised. These are voice notes that were found on Abigail's phone after she committed the crime, but it makes sense to play them now just so you can get some context. This is how she described her own relationship with her boyfriend Bradley. I'm going to play it right now because she basically tells you herself how she kind of acts and how their relationship is.
The word that comes out of that boy's mouth, I have to beat the living daylights out of him for him to tell me the truth, and he still don't tell me the truth. He only tells me the truth when he thinks I'm gonna kill him. Like when I get a knife out, like when I stab him, like, oh, I just don't get this kid. But obviously, I have no limit when I get angry, and like obviously he said that I need help with that because people are generally saying to me, one of you are gonna end up dead, like. And I fully believe that I'm quite capable of killing him if he hurts me again. Or I'm gonna end up being in prison.
So Abigail sent these voice notes on her phone, which obviously, like I said, was recently discovered by the police after she was arrested. But she basically sent these voice notes to a friend to describing how she's not mentally stable to be able to be in a relationship, really. Like, she can't control her anger. She's probably gonna like kill somebody. Like, she cannot physically do life how it's meant to be done. Like, she has anger issues, she clearly has some problems, and her boyfriend Bradley was clearly aware of this too, because she said that they both need to work on it. So they were in this relationship where it seemed like Bradley was getting really badly attacked, potentially even stabbed, to be scared, and he wasn't happy at all. In fact, he actually wanted to break up with Abigail, which is where this story gets a bit deep. So not too long after these voice notes, Bradley and Abigail were going to the pub. They were going to the pub, or like a restaurant pub, with one of Abigail's friends, one of her pals. So they went to the pub, and basically they were just having like drinks and stuff. They wasn't really on best terms, but Bradley wanted to break up with Abigail that night. That was the plan of him. He wanted to go to the pub and basically leave her. He kind of wanted to put her down like gently in a subtle way, because he was scared that if he left her, she would kill herself. In fact, actually, when Abigail left the table to maybe get a drink or go to the toilet, he actually told Abigail's friend that he wanted to leave her, but he was too scared to leave her because he knows that she would probably kill herself if he does. So he's trying to ask Abigail's friend for some advice, like, how can I leave this crazy girl? That's what he was kind of basically saying, and yeah, things kind of went out of control from here. So it was Friday the 25th of March. and they were in this pub and they were drinking. And Bradley obviously had then told Abigail that, you know, he wasn't happy, and she started getting really drunk. She drank a bottle of wine, she drank a Jaeger bomb and 2 rum and cokes. So she was pretty hammered, she was pretty smashed and drunk. And this is where she then started getting a bit more aggressive. The aggressiveness in her started coming out. She actually threw a face at Bradley. She actually threw a drink at Bradley's face after she had found out that he told her pal that he wanted to leave her. And this was the final straw for Abigail. She had had enough. She could not control her anger anymore. And she basically, like she said in the voice notes, was planning on just completely getting rid of Bradley forever. Now, again, this girl was only 24 years old, and her boyfriend, they have 3 children together, but that didn't stop her from what she was about to do. She was committed to doing this next act of disturbingness, and there was nothing going to stop her. So around about 7:50 p.m. on Friday, 25th of March, they were leaving the pub. They had had enough. Abigail had just thrown a drink into Bradley's face out of anger. So they're both fuming right now, they're both angry, they both want to go home. And Bradley's last words to Abigail's friend who was at the pub with him was, "I'm going to be dead when I get home." That was his last words that he told Abigail's pal. And unfortunately, that was a reality. This was the last moment that anybody would see Bradley Lewis alive, pretty much, because Abigail White had full intentions of murdering Bradley that night. And that's exactly what she tried to do. But she did it in a weird way. She didn't just murder him, she tried blaming it on him, which I'm going to explain now. So when they got back home, Abigail and Bradley were heard arguing and screaming in the house by neighbours. A few moments later, just minutes after they got home, Abigail was heard running into her garden screaming because police would not answer the phone. She'd rang 999 and basically told them that her boyfriend is dying, basically, on the floor. The neighbours came round to discover that Bradley was on his back. He'd been stabbed in the heart, and he was basically like passing out. He was dying on the floor right there and then. And Abigail was not telling the truth. She was telling everybody that he'd stabbed himself. And again, she was trying to get away with this whole thing. Obviously the police turned up, they arrested Abigail, or they took her into question, and she told the police, like I said, that he stabbed himself. They had arguments, they were both drinking, and yeah, they both wasn't happy in the relationship, and he actually stabbed himself. Bradley Lewis was rushed into hospital with severe stab wound into his heart, and the next day he unfortunately was pronounced dead. He didn't survive the stabbing, what Abigail White had just done to him. Later on, Abigail was questioned and quizzed by the police multiple times, and finally she actually admitted that she did stab him. She tried murdering him. She wanted to scare him. That was her word. She wanted to scare him because he was leaving her. So this was a completely twisted story. She did not want Bradley to leave him, and there was no way she was going to allow that to happen, so she stabbed him. I think she didn't mean to probably kill him, but you know, stabbing somebody in the heart is a pretty good shot at killing somebody. So regardless, you know, and also in the past, in the voice notes, you heard that she already planned this. She already knew that she was going to eventually kill him. In those voice notes, she told her friends that she's going to kill him one day. She can't control herself. And I think Bradley Lewis also knew deep down as well, one day something bad was going to happen. Either she would kill herself or he was going to get killed. And I think he was a bit scared to leave her because of this reason and exactly what had happened. On October the 21st, 2022, just a couple of days before this video was posted, she was actually sentenced in prison to life with the minimum of 18 years. So Abigail was found guilty of murder, and like I said, she would now spend the rest of her life, or minimum of 18 years in jail. Some argue that 18 years is not enough because she's only 24, which means she's gonna be out in her 40s or 50s and back to her life. But others argue that she's not mentally stable. She knew she was going to do this, and she also herself knew what she was going to do. This is the crazy story of Abigail White, the fake South Dub Barbie girl murderer who murdered her boyfriend and had the children together. It's a very sad story. My thoughts and prayers go out all of the families, all the victims who are affected by this story. My heart goes out for you. I really am sorry to hear about all of this. But if you guys want to hear more true crime stories and things that happen in the world, which is just crazy, make sure you subscribe, as all I post on this channel is true crime stories once or twice a week, which you guys seem to like to enjoy.